Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Today we are from the group 8. We're going to present with the title The Solar System, the Rise and Fall of Newton's Law. And this is our PowerPoint. So my name is Ahmad Khairul Imam.
And my name is Khalif R.
And my name is Gandazeta W.
And this is our presentation. First is about the biography of Isaac Newton, and let's go to the video about the biography of Isaac Newton. Well, Sir Isaac Newton is a scientist and mathematician and astronomer, and he was born on January 4, 1643 in Wales, in England, and his father's and mother's name was Hannah, and his father was a farmer and had died 3 months before Newton's birth. His mother remarried when Isaac was 3 years old and left young. And let's move to our presentation about this topic. Well, Isaac Newton formulated the laws of motion and universal gravitation that formed the dominant scientific viewpoint until it was superseded by the theory of relativity. Next is about an experiment to test the law of universal gravitation. Newton had performed no experiment to demonstrate that there did in fact exist a gravitational force between two objects, and this is the cycle of proof. First is about the database. Isaac Newton invented the law of universal gravitation, and Newton had performed no experiment to demonstrate that there did in fact exist a gravitational force between two objects. Next is about the hypothesis. Cavendish had suspected the gravitational force was very small, but he was able to measure it by finding how big an ordinary force was needed to move the beam of light by the same amount. And William Herschel began to observe the entire northern sky, carrying out careful star count in a total of 3,400 small area. Alexis Beaufort noticed that Uranus was not moving around the Sun in exactly the way predicted from Newton's law of universal gravitation, and the Urban Leverrier had pointed out that Mercury did not quite fit in with the law of universal gravitation.
And now we move on to the prediction. The prediction was that the force of the gravity did indeed attract the cold balls toward the lit ones. And then we move on to the experiment that have been done by Cavendish. Cavendish attached 2 heavy gold balls to the end of a rod and suspected the rod from a fine thread. Very close to each gold ball, he placed a larger fixed lead balls, and if the gold balls were attracted by the lead balls, the rod on which they were fixed would turn. And to detect the turning motion, Cavendish hung a small mirror on the thread. That was the experiment that have been done by Cavendish. And then next we move on to the verification. A beam of light falling on the mirror would then be deflected as the mirror turned. This assumed, of course, that the mirror will turn, but Cavendish was confident that it would turn.
So, we go to the 10 principles. So the first principle, the principle of objectivity. Isaac Newton's law of universal gravitation was a fact for scientists. Second, the principle of tentativeness. The number of equations could be written little differently depending on the mass. The third, the principle of consistency. The force of gravity did indeed attract the gold balls toward the lead ones. The fourth, the principle of causality. The number equation of the gold ball experiment is small, which explains why gravitational forces are so hard to detect. The sixth principle, the principle of relativeness. Newton's laws are connected to the discovery of the planets. And for the last, the seventh principle, the principle of continuous discovery. Urbain Le Verrier declared in 1845 that there is another planet called Vulcan other than 9 planets.
Okay, that's all from our presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.